All right, today we're diving into a 400-year-old masterpiece. It's all about strategy, mindset, and really what it takes to build an undefeated mind.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? And it feels more relevant than ever. We're living in what a lot of people are calling an age without correct answers. A time when all the old rules seem to be breaking, and everything just feels chaotic. But what if the key to winning today came from a man who mastered an even more unpredictable world? Okay, just try to picture this for a second. Imagine a warrior living in an age of constant life or death conflict who stepped into the dueling circle over 60 times. And get this, he never lost. Not once. That man was Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's most legendary swordsman. And his principles for victory? Well, they're so timeless, they're exactly what we're breaking down today.
So, who was this guy, really? Miyamoto Musashi, he was a total maverick, kind of like a lone wolf, you know? He basically turned his back on this new era of peace that was coming and instead chose to chase the brutal, raw reality of real combat.
You have to understand, Musashi's life happened during this huge shift in Japanese history. The whole country was moving from like 100 years of bloody civil war to a new era of peace and stability. Samurai were basically becoming bureaucrats, right? And the art of the sword? It was turning into more of a ceremonial sport. But Musashi? He rejected all of it. As a ronin, a masterless warrior, he lived by the blade, in real combat. And then, get this, just a few weeks before he died, he went off to a cave to pour a lifetime of hard-won victories into one single book. But why? Why are people at Harvard Business School, top-tier athletes, and even Silicon Valley CEOs still studying a 400-year-old book from a renegade swordsman? Well, the answer is simple. It's not actually about sword fighting. Not really. It's a practical, no-nonsense manual for winning, and it's built on 3 timeless laws. Yeah, you can pretty much boil down Musashi's entire philosophy to these 3 core principles. They work for victory in pretty much any field. So, let's break them down.
Okay, the first law is all about a complete, total commitment to results. Musashi had absolutely zero patience for flashy moves or, just looking cool. He was obsessed with one thing and one thing only, winning. I mean, the guy would show up late just to mess with his opponent's head, or use a wooden oar as a sword, literally whatever it took. The result was the only thing that mattered. Think of it like a startup founder who couldn't care less about a fancy office, but is completely obsessed with whether their product actually works for the customer. But here's the thing. Musashi's real weapon was never the sword. It was his mind. His second law is all about mastering your own mental state. I mean, how do you stay calm and clear when you're under insane pressure? How do you control your own fear, but at the same time read the psychology of your opponent? This is the very foundation of what we call mental toughness today. And his third law? Radical adaptability. Musashi believed the absolute worst mistake you could make was getting stuck in just one way of doing things. You have to be like water, right? Change your shape to fit the container. In this crazy, fast-changing world we live in, that idea of not getting stuck on a single success formula, man, it's never been more important.
So, Musashi didn't just talk about his philosophy. He actually created a whole curriculum for you to master it. The book is laid out in 5 scrolls, and you can think of each one as a clear step on the path to victory.
It's pretty straightforward, really. Think of it like this. Earth is your foundation. Water is all about your mindset. Fire is your actual strategy in the moment. Wind is about understanding your competition. And void, well, that's the final goal, the place you're trying to get to.
First up is the Book of Earth, and this is all about laying the groundwork. Musashi uses this great analogy of carpentry. You can't just start building a house, right? You need a blueprint first. You have to know your tools, understand the rhythm of the work, and get all the fundamentals down for success.
Next is the Book of Water, which is all about mindset. The goal here is to develop what he calls a normal mind, even when everything around you is chaos. What does that mean? It means seeing the whole situation, the big picture, without getting laser-focused and stuck on just one little detail that's threatening you. It's about blurring that line between being on and off, so that you're just always present, always aware. Then you get to the Book of Fire, and this is pure strategy. We're talking concrete, actionable tactics. Things like put the sun at your back so it blinds your opponent. If your enemy is super aggressive, pretend to be weak to lure them into a trap.
If they're anxious and jumpy, just wait, be patient, and let them make a mistake. I mean, this is straight up psychological warfare, and it's easy to see how this applies to something like a business negotiation or really any competitive sport. So you've got the fundamentals, you've got the mindsets, you've got the strategy, and all of it. Every single piece is building towards one central, incredibly powerful idea. This is the absolute core of Musashi's entire philosophy. Do nothing which is of no use. Just let that sink in for a second. This is what extreme rationalism sounds like. For Musashi, any action, any thought, any emotion that wasn't directly helping him win was a dangerous waste of energy. It's a call to just cut away everything that isn't absolutely essential. And this relentless focus on only what's essential, it leads to the final scroll, the Book of Void. This is the ultimate endgame. The void is that state of mind that's so clear, so pure, that hesitation is gone, fear is gone, even that desperate need to win has disappeared. You know what this is? It's what we now call a flow state, or what athletes call being in the zone. It's that incredible space where you just act perfectly without even thinking about it. That is the realm of the true master. Which, of course, brings us back to the big question. Why should we care? 400 years later, why do the teachings of this renegade swordsman matter to you and me? Why read this now? Well, because the chaotic world that Musashi had to master, it's not really all that different from ours. When there's no instruction manual for what's coming next, you have no choice but to trust your own judgment, your own senses, your own rational mind. Musashi's philosophy? It's a tool for building radical self-reliance. It's about forging the mental strength to truly stand on your own 2 feet. And you know, he leaves us with a really powerful message of hope. This quote is actually the origin of the Japanese word for training, tonren. It's a reminder that there are no shortcuts, none. It might take 1,000 days just to develop your skills and 10,000 to truly polish them. But it's also a promise, isn't it? It's a promise that if you just keep going, mastery is actually achievable. So the final challenge he leaves us with is to turn that blade back on ourselves, to look at our own daily habits, our worries, our goals, and ask, are they really serving our purpose? Really? So I'll leave you with this. What in your life is of no use?